Welcome, viewers. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, everyone, to the Man Cave Media Network and the Down East Prep Report Winter Show, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with co-host Chris Miller, we're joined this week by Dixon High School boys basketball coach Matt Miller. Coach, thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And got a couple players with you, both juniors, which I want to talk to you about that, man. You got one senior on your roster.
Yep.
Gotta like that. Noah Wright. Noah, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you.
And Grady Adams. Grady, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So each week at Down East Prep Report, we'll be talking to area coaches and standout athletes, and we'll touch on different stories from around our local boys and girls winter sports scene. So whether you're a parent, grandparent, athlete, or just a diehard fan of the Dixon Bulldogs, this is your home for all things high school winter sports. And it's right here on the Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, and Jeff Clark. So at Marine Federal Credit Union, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community with personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals. Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So, Mr. Miller, you ready to get going?
Yeah, we're ready to talk some basketball, some wrestling,
And wrestling?
Wrestling.
All
And,
right.
But let's not talk about the Tar Heels.
No, we can talk about them Saturday night, but that's all right. Before we hop in, I got to thank two folks, Vital Signs, Michael Lazaro Jr. They partnered with us, giving us some T-shirts that we give out to folks. So guys, don't get off and leave today before I can get your T-shirts. I normally do that beforehand, but I was not diligent in my duties. And then thank you to Steve Wan and the fine folks at Steve's Subs and Salads for providing lunch. Family run, fast, friendly, and just, he says it's just flat out better than the change. Steve's Subs located at Bryn Mawr Plaza in Jacksonville, 910-353-6040. Place an order. They make it so easy. They have a drive-through. You don't have to get your car. You can call, order, pick it up. Steve's Subs and Salads, where big flavor lives. So plan for today. We're going to show the play of the week. We got a quote of the week. Then we're going to talk a little bit of updates about basketball, some wrestling updates. And then we're going to talk to Coach Miller, Noah, and Grady. And then we'll highlight our scholar athlete, and then whatever else comes up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we're going to kick things off with our player of the week. So our player of the week is Neely McManna, senior, Croatan High School. She's the engine behind Croatan's standout 25-26 season. Neely leads the Cougars with 14.4 points per game, 4.3 steals, and she's recorded 2 or more steals in 13 consecutive games while consistently setting the tone on both ends of the floor. Powered by her play and an experienced roster, the Cougars sit 16-3 overall in the 5A, 6A conference and a perfect 8-0. Actually, they're 16-13 overall and 8-0 in conference. They may be 9-0 if they play. I don't know if they played last night, but
Yeah, they did play, so they're on a path to finish the regular season undefeated in conference play. Still got to play Swansboro, and that's going to be a tough game. But yeah, she's the engine that makes them go. They have different players, that really contribute. But she's been on the varsity for 4 years for Andrew Gurley, and so the Croatan girls are playing well, and I think they're going to be a force to reckon with in the postseason.
Yeah, they played last night, and so they got 3 games left, including matchups with Dixon, who is sitting in third, I think, in conference, and then just as you mentioned, Swansboro, who is 1 game behind them. So
Yep.
that could get interesting. Again, Player of the Week is brought to you by Down East Heating and Air. Down East Heating and Air, a family tradition of quality since 1986, with locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach. Down East is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Whether it's a home office, garage, a man cave, and yes, even a basement here, Down East has the perfect systems just to help you stay comfortable during this winter sports season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you.
And Steve, I love that picture of Neely and Lily Borden. Of course, you guys know who that young lady is. I mean, that I think that was a great matchup between those two young ladies when they played. So
was that this year?
Yeah, that was this year. And Lily's a great player. I talked to her a couple weeks ago, and then of course Neely's a great player as well. So that's I'm sure that was a little bit of a battle when they played each other.
And is that so? That's Coach. That's the lady, the young lady that you trained.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, she was our. If I'm not mistaken, she was our player of the week the first week of the season. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good deal. All right, so let's move on to play of the week. We had a play of the week down and got one in late last night, early this morning that changed it. So we're going to go right to our play of the week, and it is. I'm trying to see where I wrote something up about it, and I'm not finding it. Oh well, it is for Dominic Hall, East Duplin High School. Dominic is a 6'5" sophomore, and he seems to be doing it all. For here it is. So let's see. Watch this up and under. It's an up and under flush. East Duplin's number 23, Dominic Hall, led them in their 50-38 win over Pender last night. He's 6'5", sophomore. He's leading the Panthers in points per game, rebounds, and 3.3 blocks. 3.3 blocks, man, that's a lot of blocks a game. Bigger last night's win over Pender improves them to 9-10 on the season, but they're 6-3 in conference play, and they're in second place right now in the East Central 3A, 4A. They close their season tomorrow night, hosting first place South Lenoir. Mm-hmm. So the big kind of tie-in, of course, we cover East Duplin. We don't really cover South Lenoir, but the big tie-in is Southwest sits in third. They're in third. They've got the same number of losses, but they played one less game, so they each have 3 losses. But they've got 2 games remaining. They host Clinton tomorrow night, and then they visit Trask on Friday. So East Duplin's got a tough game tomorrow. South Lenoir beat leading the conference. Of course, Southwest beat South Lenoir. Was it last? They beat them in the last game play.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was last night, but they beat them. But anyway, so big game coming. Let's show the play of the week, and everyone takes special interest in the lady that's doing the videoing. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I think she.
So I played it 3 times because I love hearing her say, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." I wanted to hear her
I think
say.
she knew what was coming.
I think she did too. But anyway, I just thought that was cool. So congratulations, Dominic Hall. We had another Croatan play of the game before that, but we've showcased them once before, so we tried to spread it around. And the Hall kid, man, he looks legit.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
6'5". So I mean, can't teach height, right?
And Coach, did y'all play East Duplin? Y'all didn't play East Duplin.
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay. But the East Duplin's not as bad as people may think they are. I mean, 9-10 and finishing. They're 6-3 in the conference now, and they play hard. And appreciate Coach Blake Lanier for getting us that video. And I think it was a no brainer that picking that play.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's share. So we have this. Y'all may have some fans out there. I'm not sure where this quote's going to come up. Let's see. Comes up kind of small there, but a guy named Corey Copeland. Does that name ring a bell to you guys? Corey.
Oh, that's my dad.
Oh, that's your dad? Okay. Well, he's watching. He's saying, "Let's go Bulldogs." So, and G1. So, yeah, hey, man, you got your own fan club. Awesome. So let's show the quote of the week this week. Last week was weird, man. No school, no practice, couldn't get anything done. Everybody sitting around getting lazy. I'm sure you guys enjoyed time off, right? So Kim Miller gave us a great quote. Swansboro girls coach on Saturday night after they played Havelock. She said, that they were extremely proud of all the players on both teams for how hard that they played after being out of school and all for the week. They all played with lots of heart and determination, and that's all a coach can ask for. So, Coach, you agree with that, right? I mean, especially being a week off, man, that's tough, right?
Tough with a week off.
Yeah. So, so thank you, Kim. We had a quote come in again this morning from Coach Mark Holbrook, wrestling coach from Jacksonville. We'll get to a little bit about that. They've got some stuff coming up this is it this week? Is it tomorrow night?
No, I think he says Monday.
Okay.
And just the way the weather worked out and everything, and of course, schools have home basketball games, so Jacksonville was able to host their first and second round pod last night.
Okay.
But somebody like Croatan, who had basketball at home last night, they have to wait till Thursday to have their first and second round game. So
well, let's go. So we were going to talk about basketball first, but since you kind of mentioned the wrestling piece of it, let's go ahead and talk about the wrestling. So the dual wrestling piece has come. I think I'm correct in this. All the county teams made the dual wrestling except Richlands. Does that sound right? Mm-hmm. Including Lejeune. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to go over this real quick, and you tell me where I'm wrong, because I'm sure I've screwed this up somewhere. Jacksonville High School, you just mentioned, they advanced to the third round after wins versus South Johnson and West Brunswick. Mm-hmm. White Oak advanced to the third round after wins versus Terry Sanford and Swansboro. Mm-hmm. And that sets up a matchup between two high schools that just don't like each other, Jacksonville and White Oak. And you're saying that, so that's going to be potentially next week.
That could be next week. It could be at Jacksonville. The wrestling dual team playoffs, it's kind of worked in a funky way. They like doing the third and fourth round in a centrally located area. So it could be with two teams 5 minutes away from 10 minutes away from each other. It could be at Jacksonville next Monday, but it could potentially be at Union Pines.
Oh, okay.
But speaking at Jacksonville, I did ask Mark Holbrook, who we had on the show last week. I said, what's your thoughts on playing White Oak again? And this is what he said: we like that match.
Yeah, they beat them the one time they faced them this year. So, and then they've of course outpointed them in the
County Cup,
in the Onslow Cup, and so like I said, man, anytime. Coach, you grew up in Wilmington. Where'd you go to school?
So I grew up there for 5 years.
Oh, okay. Where'd you go to high school?
Mount St. Joe in Maryland.
So did you have like just a crosstown rival, man? That you guys, I mean, regardless if you guys play, you might play tiddlywinks, man, or you might play it doesn't matter. You're playing your team, your hated rival, right?
Yep, I played in the Baltimore Catholic League.
Okay.
And our rival was St. Francis.
Okay. There's some good basketball.
Top 25 right now.
I was going to say there's some good basketball played in, in that league. So that's how Jacksonville White Oak is, man. It's just kind of like, boys, who's y'all's Dixon and who? Southwest or?
Nah, I don't like Thompson.
You don't like Topsail? That's true, because Topsail's coming up on y'all, man. They're infringing. Pretty soon, y'all may be annexed into the town, the town of Hempstead, man, before long. But that's just so that's how it is.
Hey, Grady, tell us how you really feel about Topsail.
So Swansboro made it. Of course, they had a first round win against Harnett Central and then got beat by White Oak in the second round. Croatown, you said they have a first round matchup against actually conference rival Northside, and the winner will face the winner of Rockingham Southeast Alamance in the second round. Mm-hmm. Dixon had a first round matchup against South Brunswick and won. They
played today.
They played so they wrestle today.
Yeah,
they don't play today. They wrestle today.
Grapple.
Yeah, they grapple. And if they win, they face the winner of Montgomery Central and Southern Nash. And then Lejeune won their first round match against Albemarle and lost second round to Bradford Prep. And Southwest lost their first round match to Ledford. I think that's right. I looked that up on the internet. So if the internet's lying to me, then that's why it's wrong. So any comments you want to make about any of that, man?
Jacksonville Wrestling going for another trip to the regional final. If they beat White Oak, they'll be in the regional final for the third straight year. Likely playing Union Pines for the umpteenth time in the row. So that'll be interesting. And Steve, I don't know if you saw, but we had Blake Moses on during the football season. He came out of wrestling retirement. Didn't wrestle all this year because he's focused on football. But they brought him out of wrestling retirement to wrestle 2 matches so he can get his 100 wrestling win.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do that because I was eating at Metro Diner.
Yeah.
The other day, and his dad is one of the principal owners of Metro Diner. And I didn't recognize Blake because he was wearing glasses. And I sat down and I started talking to his dad. And I was like, "Man, are you Blake's dad?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he pointed to him at the next table. He was like, "You mean that guy?" I'm like, "Man, I didn't even recognize him." But Blake told me that he was going to do that. So yeah, interesting.
And then
interesting.
And then Max Davis, who we had on the show, got his 150th win
Wow.
at the same time. So I
Congrats.
interviewed both guys, and congratulations. So it'd be pretty neat if that White Oak Jacksonville third round wrestling match would be at Jacksonville or at least here in Onslow County.
Yeah. Well, I hope it. For personal reasons, I hope it's not Monday night because I'm going to be in Swansboro Monday night. I think that's the night, or is it Tuesday night? Swansboro and Croatan play either Monday night or Tuesday night.
I think it would be Tuesday night.
It's the 16th. Is it the 16th or 17th? Anyway, they play next week. So maybe it will not be the same night. Noah, you got a fan club too, man. I'm assuming is that your mom?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Your mom is saying go Bulldogs, and then we've got someone.
That's my dad.
That's your dad.
Yeah.
Do they not? Hey man, I'm glad that I can contribute. This is like March Madness. Like nothing gets done during that Thursday or Friday of March Madness, right? Everybody's watching the show. So Bulldogs took a bite out of Topsail this year. I say, man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So so real quick, and then we'll get to the interview with Coach. So we got some stuff going on in basketball. So just last week was crazy. But the regular season, some folks are winding up this week. Some folks have games next week. Swansboro, since Coach McFarland and his boys have been in here, they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, we jinxed them.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll come back. They were 7-1, and since that time they've lost 2 in a row. But I was talking to Coach Miller about this, before we came on the air. It's a log jam up top, and Dixon can play. Dixon has a chance to play the spoiler, man. So the 5A, 6A boys standings, 2 games left. Swansboro, Croatan, and West Corrette are all tied at 7-3. Northside's right behind them. They've only got 1 game left. They're 7-4, and so Northside's got a game against West Carteret on Friday night. Then West Carteret has, of course, that Northside game on Friday, and then hosts you guys. I've got on Monday. Is that right?
It's Monday, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday because the conference tournament's going to start Wednesday, right?
Pretty sure it's starting.
Yeah, so that game with Swansboro and Croatan will be Monday night, I bet. Then Swansboro, again, 2 games left. They go to you guys Friday night.
No, we go to them.
Oh, you go to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 3 on the road.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, all 3. Yeah, I was looking at. Yeah, that's right. So got Dixon Friday night, and then they finish up hosting Croatan, of course. And I do have Monday here, so I think it's Monday. I know Valentine's Day is the 14th. I got to, boys. Noah, you got a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Grady, you got a girlfriend? All right. You're say, Coach. Remember 14th, Valentine's Day.
Got it.
Well,
Miller?
speaking of, what are we gonna do next Super Bowl Sunday? Because Super Bowl Sunday next year is February 14th. So
Well, I'm taking my wife. I'm gonna bring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a big party for my wife. How about that? She will have a big party thrown for her for Super Bowl Sunday. So So that's what we'll do. So Dixon Friday night, Croatan Monday, and then of course again, it's all one big circle. Croatan hosts Dixon tonight, right?
Yep.
Tonight.
Yep.
And then they go to Swansboro on Monday, and the conference tournament potentially starts sometime next week. So you're one of the few conferences. I say few conferences. You guys are still having your conference tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. So moving to the I'll stay in the 5A, 6A, and we'll go to the girls. Girls 2 games left, 2-team race. Croatan 10-0, Swansville 9-1. That's what it's going to boil down to. Croatan has Dixon tonight, of course, and then Monday, again, we've mentioned this, travels to Swansboro. Swansboro, of course, is at Dixon. Swansboro hosts Dixon Friday night, and then they finish up hosting Croatan on Monday. So it's the girls' race hitting over. Dixon girls sitting in 3rd, could potentially play spoilers as well. So, man, that's got to be a good feeling, boys. Got to like that. So let's move to the 6A. 6A, 7A, Big Carolina, 3 games left. White Oak sits in 2nd, tied with South Central at 5-2. Now, is this split? is Rose? How many are in, or are all these 6A?
No, New Bern is 7A.
Okay.
And then I think South Central and Rose are 6A along with White Oak.
Okay. So I mean, White Oak is competing against South Central and Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But another big victory for the Vikings last night. They beat New Bern.
They beat New Bern again last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was senior night actually for for New Bern. So White Oak 5-2. They host Jacksonville Friday night again. It's Jacksonville's kind of down this year, but it's you just don't know what's going to happen. Then they go to South Central on Tuesday, and they host Rose next Friday. So with that schedule, you can obviously tell by that they canceled their conference tournament.
Yeah, they did.
The 6A, 7A will not have a conference tournament. They voted to cancel it. Coach Grimes was telling me, Chris was telling me earlier this week that they had canceled that tournament. So on the girls' side of things, in the 6A, 7A, 3 games left. Jacksonville girls are still in this deal.
I think that's a surprise team of the year.
Yeah, Jacksonville girls. Is it Naya? Is it first name Naya?
Naya
Burney.
We might have heard that last name before.
Yeah, we've heard the last name before, Burney. First year coach. She will actually be on the show next week with a couple of her players. Mm-hmm. But they sit in second place at 6-1 in the conference behind South Central, which is 7-0. Mm-hmm. Well, they play. Mm-hmm. So Jacksonville's got White Oak again Friday night. They host Conley on Tuesday, and then they finish the season next Friday night with South Central. Mm-hmm. I don't know I didn't note if that game was home or away. So there's a lot of basketball left, man. There is a lot of basketball left, and some exciting times. You got folks that are in it. You got folks that can play spoilers. So so that's good.
And I did want to ask Coach. I mean, so the conference, was it the coaches or the athletic directors that decided to go and try to proceed with a conference tournament?
I think it was the athletic directors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we all want to play. I know us coaches want to play. So yeah.
So how's that going to work out? So the regular season will get done on Monday, and
then I believe we're either playing Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Could be Tuesday with a day off, and then Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they would try to wrap up by Friday, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they're wrapping up by Friday.
Yeah. So, so a lot of good things still happening this late in the season. Joy Likens, who watches every week, her grandson is actually a player, plays at New Bern. Says White Oak has a great coach and a team. Zarian cannot be stopped. Good luck. And then, of course, she always is very accommodating to the coach and players we have in. She says, good luck to you Bulldogs. Anyway, great fan of the show. How about that? Yeah. She watches every week. Anything else, man, about this kind of wrap up?
No, it's been a fun basketball season so far, and I know last week was a little bit difficult with the snow and everything, but I think this is once we get into the postseason play, this is kind of the March Madness for high school basketball. And I think a lot of people get excited for this time around, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, I'm ready to get at it with Coach and Grady and
we ready to
Noah.
beat these guys up?
Yeah, let's beat them up. Coach, you ready?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So we'll start this. So in the previous 4 seasons before Coach Miller arrived, and I'm going to say Sneads Ferry. How about that? In Sneads Ferry. The Dixon had won 21 games over that period. Coach, he's in his mid-30s. He walked away from the college game, and he's rebuilding a high school program that needed more than a reset. Sometimes you just need a culture shift, man, and you need belief. So basketball runs deep in his family. Cousin Sean is at Texas, coaching at the University of Texas. Cousin Archie is at Rhode Island, coaching. And his Uncle Joe, man, everybody needs an Uncle Joe. That's just Uncle Joe, man, which he's famous. I mean, he's like legendary anyway. But Joe Miller, legendary athletic director at New Hanover High School. But this stop wasn't about pedigree. It was about a purpose. The foundation starts with 2 junior guards, and we have them right here. So this year, Noah Wright has nearly doubled his scoring from a year ago and now leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists. Grady Adams often called under the radar, especially by my co-host here in an article that came out this week, called you under the radar, Grady. I would take it as a compliment, man. You're stealth.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was, hey, these guys don't get, maybe as much recognition as they deserve, or they're not the high profile names as they probably need to be. But they're the guys that just take care of business and handle their business on the court. So I know their coaches and the fans and the parents appreciate what they do. So I think that was a good nod to give some of those guys and girls recognition that's well deserved.
Yeah, I'm just picking on you, man. Yeah. And the comments, man, are just coming in. Do y'all know this guy, Michael?
That's my grandpa.
Man, you got him. No, you got him going on, man.
Man, you got a posse.
Go Bulldogs. Go Noah. Go Grady, Dylan, Matt, JT, Anthony, Grayson. Yeah, we'd love to have them all here, Coach, but we only got a couch so big, and I only got so many subs, so we couldn't feed. So I'm just.
It's all right. We probably could fit a couple more guys.
I'm just joking,
Hey,
man.
reminds me when we had JJ on the show and everybody came out.
That's
force, so,
that's right. That's right. So Grady, often called under the radar, but you you guys are right there, and Grady, you showed them how under the radar you were. You had 23 the other night against Northside, right? So you were you were on fire. Around them, sophomores, I'm just going to say JT, Jacorian Taylor is setting the tone defensively while averaging 12 points and 6 rebounds. And junior Dylan Langston brings a steady presence inside. And again, I was talking and looking at the roster. I think the most amazing thing about this, one senior. And I've got it broken down in a question later on. But anyway, the record today stands at. Did you guys play last night? You played.
Yep.
You did. And who'd y'all play?
Havelock.
Okay.
We got thumped.
Got thumped. Okay. So your record is 8-14. I think is that around the right. But the wins and losses are not all you're tracking. If the wins and losses are all you're tracking, you're missing the real story. So guys, welcome to the show, and I'm gonna just hop right in, Coach. You stepped into a program 21-66 over 4 seasons before you got there. What made you look at Dixon and say, this is where I want to build a team?
Well, you and I were chatting a little bit before. It wasn't really where I was trying to build a team.
It just got to happen, right?
Yeah, I bounced around coaching college basketball for a while, about 8 years. And I know I mentioned before I had my first son who's turning 6 here March 17th. And then I had a second son, and my wife and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go live? And we ended up, kind of choosing Sneads Ferry on the map. I know I mentioned before, but I grew up in Wilmington between 5 and 10 years old. My dad actually was an assistant with New Hanover High School for Coach Wheeler there. And there's a long history there. My Uncle Joe obviously was a longtime AD and the head football coach there. And so when we were looking at places to go, we decided to kind of come right in this area, in the Hampstead, Holly Ridge, Sneads Ferry area. We want to be by the beach. And I know I mentioned I came across Lily Borden on the girls team and started training her a little bit. And shortly after, I ran into Noah, Grady, and Dylan, who also were looking to get extra work. So I've known these guys since they've been 7th grade, 8th grade, and started working with them. And I had no aspirations of coaching at all. I'll tell you, I did not. I want to be around my family. I want to run. I have 3 kids now. I want to be around them and just really enjoy my time with them. And I heard a ton of horror stories about Dixon, of basketball and the legacy. They've won 2 conference championships since Dixon High School has been around in 1969 and 96. And I know the old coach Bernie Poole in 2019, 2020 had an awesome season, about 19 or 20 wins.
Yep.
And previous Dixon has been in 1A school, so we've jumped 5 classes. And but just looking around, I really just want to try and help Dixon become competitive. I had no aspirations of trying to win the league or win a state championship. It was just like let me see if I can make Dixon competitive. And one thing led to another, and
now you're back in it.
So I'm back in it. So that's long story short.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And the big thing, and I know you're going to follow with a question. The big thing I take from that is never say never. and you're in a much better place to raise 3 kids in Boston
Yes,
than you are in being in Sneads Ferry,
You are right.
North Carolina.
Yeah, and Coach, I wanted to ask you. I mean, people always just want to look at the scores and the box scores, but what's one thing about this program that people may not understand? What's happening on the on the inside of the surface? What's something that people are not aware that's really going on with the program?
Yeah, I think there's a competitive mindset and culture shift. Without getting too detailed and releasing some of the secrets, like we have a 5,000 May club. We're trying to change the culture of be in the gym, stay in the gym, be competitive no matter what you're doing, get after it on and off the floor, and that's really what's changing. We've had a double overtime loss by 1. We had an overtime loss at Croatan at home by 1.
Yep.
We were at Havelock up 1 with 6 seconds to go, lost on a tip in. So the ball could bounce either way, and it
And you had Northside in one of the
Yeah,
games. You
yep.
had them beat.
Yep. So I think things are heading in the right direction, but from a culture standpoint, I think our team really likes each other, and I think we're trying to do a better job of being more of a together group and a competitive group.
I didn't see the game, but wasn't it during the Christmas tournament? Was it double overtime?
Double overtime versus Northside.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
And that was one of the games of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but everyone that's like, "Hey, did you see that?" I was like, "No, I just got here. I missed it." So anyway.
And I wanted to ask Noah. Noah, you averaged a little more than 7 points last year. This year you're right around 17 points. Where have you noticed a change in your game, physically, mentally, and just situation wise?
I think it was just the work we put in this summer, playing on our first ECI, first one we've been invited to, or that I've been invited to. I think just playing a lot of games and putting in work just helped everyone a lot.
That's awesome. Well, Grady, we talked about the under the radar deal. Man, I'm tired of that. Are you tired of that? I mean, do you embrace that label, man, or are you trying to outgrow it? Tell me, when somebody, you guys got. I'm just going to tell you, man, you guys have got some legit players. I mean, and you're going to be legit. I mean, if I was a Dixon High School, I'm a supporter, but if I lived in that area and my kids were going to Dixon High School, I would be excited about the Dixon athletic programs in general. Football is on the upswing, but with Coach Miller here and the young roster you have, you guys are exciting, man. So talk a little bit about about that label, but then talk a little bit about your game a little bit.
I think I kind of embrace it, but I also use it as motivation.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like, obviously not the record of Dixon basketball has been under the radar because we have been losing a lot of games, but I feel like as a group, a lot of it has been under the radar. So I kind of just use that as motivation just to help me work and keep me in the gym.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome. So, and you did mention, you guys been losing games, but Chris, you just rattled off 3 or 4 games that could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're 8-14. If 2 of those games go the other way, guys, you're looking at being 500, right around 500.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's again, and I just go back to being young. Noah, let me ask you something, man. You're stroking it. I mean, 17 points a game. When you get in a rhythm, man, does the game slow down for you out there? And your starts your shots are falling. Tell me what it feels like. I mean, sometimes when I was young, I did play basketball a little bit before I got too big. But when you shoot the ball, man, sometimes you just shoot the ball and you just know, it's a good shot. Talk to me about when you're in a zone out there.
I think just sometimes just seeing someone back off and I just know that I'm just going to shoot this. And the amount of work we put in on just spot up shooting,
yeah,
it's helped a lot.
Has it?
Yeah.
So are you in range when you walk in the gym?
I mean,
I think they both are.
They are. They both are. Grady, you got a big smile, man. When I said that, you're in range when you walk in the gym. Okay, All right.
So I already know the answer to this. Can you take your coach on one-on-one, Grady?
That was going to be one of my questions, man. That's all right. Coach is still relatively young, so we get some coaches that are older. Coach is still relatively young. Have y'all paired off 1-on-1 or maybe 2-on-2, 3-on-3?
Nah, not so much 1-on-1, but he'll jump in our practice, and I'll make sure you hear from me.
Hey, they don't back down, do they?
No, they don't.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, and Grady, speaking of not backing down, obviously you and Noah are two of the team leaders, stat wise and leadership wise. But how do y'all compete with each other without competing with each other? I mean, did y'all motivate each other in practice, or how does that work in practice and even game situation?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we both had the same common goal, and that's just to win games. So I feel like as many times as I can make him better, I'm gonna do it. So if that's just telling him next play at practice, or even just getting in his head a little bit, just so I can prepare him for what other teams are gonna do. So I feel like if we both have the same goal, we should both push each other to do the same.
Does he do the same thing to you? Does he? Does he chirp at you a little bit?
Yeah.
Kind of love that, man. That's awesome. Coach, so you got a great foundation here with these two guys. But again, young roster. You're developing JT and Dylan and we, a list of players there. Grayson and Oscar. Is Xander
Xander's a sophomore.
Xander's a sophomore. Okay. So you've got all those players as well that you're trying to develop. Talk about balancing structure, because you want to develop, but you also want those guys to have a little bit of freedom. And I'm a Carolina guy, whether good or bad, and I'm just going to preface that. Sometimes I know a little bit about structure and maybe wishing there was a little more freedom. But so talk a little bit about that.
No, definitely. We run two different continuity offenses, and I try to tell these guys that this is just the foundation and just the spots that we're playing from, and that it's their choice and freedom to play out of those positions and play free. And I always tell them all the time, if you're open, shoot it. If you have an opportunity to drive it, make a play for yourself or someone else, do it. If not, swing it and move it.
Yeah.
No wasted dribbles, no wasted time. And obviously, as soon as they walk in the gym, they're in range. So
actually, Miss Wright says that they're in range in the parking lot too.
Yeah.
So she has put that up there that they are arranging the parking lot. Just keep the ball moving.
No, it's tough, and when a certain guy's hot, like both these guys have been hot, like we're trying to find the hot hand.
Yeah.
And it's also time and score, and when you should shoot versus when you shouldn't, and it's been a process, and I won't say it's perfect, but. I think we are trending in the right direction of playing as a team.
Yeah.
More so instead of individuals playing together, just making the right pass at the right time.
So off script, your second year.
Yep.
Have you seen what kind of improvement have you seen from year 1 to year 2, man?
Oh man, I've seen a big jump. I think we averaged about 27 turnovers a game last year.
Did you really?
This year we are right around 15 or 16.
Oh, you're at Carolina's range. No, I'm just messing.
We are not turning. So that's
that's impressive, man. You've cut it almost half of where you were last year.
Yeah, and I like to call them pick sixes, but last year we would turn it over right around half court, and they would run down and shoot a lip.
Yeah.
And our theme is no more pick sixes. Take care of the ball, no turnovers, and then let's guard and make them work for a bucket. So
that's nice. That's nice. So we both established you guys like to shoot, and whenever you're probably from your house, you may be in range. So Grady, you're not the biggest guy. I mean, you're built, but you're not the tallest guy on the court. What part of your game shows up on film, but maybe doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, man? Something that you may be proud of at the end of the night that coach may say, hey, man, thanks for doing that, but it's not going to get put in the daily newspaper.
I know something, but I'm not going to.
Okay. Let's see if he says it.
I think diving on loose balls and I just started taking charges recently.
Is that, Coach, was that what you're going to say?
You got it right.
So defense, and playing defense is nothing about hustling, man. Anyway, and rebounding too. You got to be positioned, but So you do the little things, the things that don't show up in the stats. And look, man, no matter. And I said this to somebody a couple of weeks ago. You can go 0 for 10 from the field, but you can impact the game by how you play defense and how you get on the floor and scrap and hustle. So that's a part of your game, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
I feel
awesome.
I feel like my freshman and sophomore year, I was kind of a liability on defense. So I kind of took that as like motivation to kind of make that a standout this year.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
But Coach, you kind of talked about early on about playing together and competing every day in practice. Now that we're kind of closing toward the end of the regular season, what does that look like in the locker room, but also in practice? What does that look like as a unit?
Yeah, pretty much every drill we do is competitive. From 1-on-1 in the post to 1-on-1 king of the court for stops instead of scores to all of our 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 transition drills we do. Things we do is pretty much for a run. There's a winner and there's a loser.
Free throws.
And free throws we do 5 push-ups if you lose versus your buddy. So everyone pairs up. You shoot 5. You shoot free throws. You're competing, literally down to that. And for the most part, depending on time, we shoot every day. Personally, I take pride in skill development to start the practice, and I know these guys probably shoot as much as anybody in the country. Really,
Do they really?
Shooting and
That's
skill
awesome.
and skill work and pivoting and things like that. So, but it's all a competition. There are some days where it isn't, but for the most part, I'm like, who had the most makes? We're tracking makes. So that's the culture shift that we're trying to change.
But it also makes it fun. It makes it fun on the guys.
Yeah, they like to compete, and I think they're starting to understand that. And I actually embrace them, chirping at each other. Like, I want them to get an edge because I don't think we've had it in the past, even prior to myself being here. I think that's something that's missing from Dixon's culture, and we aren't there yet, but we're getting there.
So I got a question for Noah, but before I do, I want to ask you a question.
Yep.
You mentioned you're tracking that stuff. This is an advantage if you answer the question like I think you're going to answer it. How much of your coaching philosophy or your coaching, maybe just down to practice, how you run your practices, you brought a lot from college, hadn't you? Have you brought a lot? Yeah. I mean, a lot of, because when you talk about tracking, I mean, I know they do a lot of tracking at the college level. You kids got there and just kind of, I don't want to say messing around, but they got some sort of stat guy out there tracking shots, right?
Yeah. My dad's probably the best coach I've ever been around, and he equates it to throwing a dart at a bullseye versus just throwing a dart.
Yeah.
Are you just throwing a dart, or are you throwing it at a bullseye?
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
What are you tracking? And I kept every practice plan from Sean at Arizona, and so I have his practice plans, and I look at them, weekly, just the map. And he had all of his managers track makes and misses for each guy. I can't do that necessarily at the high school level, but I'm trying to instill it with our 5,000 make deal in the spring, summer. They have to make 5,000 makes by August. They get a T-shirt. We're trying to develop this because you can run all the plays you want in the world if you can't make a layup.
Can't make a layup, dude. Yeah,
the play doesn't work.
Damn.
So
Play looked good till the end, didn't it?
Looked good till he missed it. So
That's right.
So need to be able to make shots.
That's all, man. That's awesome, guys. And I know you guys. I know you know this. You guys are lucky. You guys are in a unique situation. When I played football at White Oak, my coach was a former college at a small D2 school up in Pennsylvania, but he brought a lot of the same principles, same practices down to us. But football being a little bit different, one game a week, but our weekly structure, how we approached each week when we got into the season. Just a small example, when we got into the season, we very, very rarely went full pads. We went shoulder pads and helmet and shorts because his philosophy was, hey man, why do we want to beat up on each other? During our bye week, we hit, but a lot of the principles that Coach Zavonar used and with us in high school, he brought to us from Slippery Rock. So so anyway, so Grady, let me get back to you, man. Sorry, I'm sorry, Noah. So you've been around Coach Miller. He's been doing training with you. He coached last year. But tell me something he's taught you this season that has maybe changed how you see the game.
I think just my confidence
Okay.
and my shot making ability and just being an all around player.
Okay.
Like it's not all about stats, it's just about like winning the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great, man. So just to be an all around player,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. And Coach, I mean, I wanted to ask you, and you kind of already answered this, but what's one thing that you emphasize and teach at Dixon and you're at the high school level that maybe you can't really get by with or teach at the college level?
That's a great question. There's a couple things. I would say more so like form shooting, how it's more of a skill set. When you're at college, your shot's pretty much set. You can't really tweak it. You can't really change it. You can't really do too much with that. But at the high school level, starting with our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors for the most part, you can help them with some of their mechanics, how their rhythm, stepping into a basketball, left or right foot, or on the hop, just different little techniques like that for the most part college players have or already have set that you can't break that bad habit or good habit.
Is that fun though, teaching the fundamentals to the high school kids or the young kids as opposed to college kids is already expecting to know all that stuff? Is that fun?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's tough too at times when you're harping on the same things for over a year and some guys get it and some guys don't. But I'm just trying to give back to these guys in case they end up going to train some kids or go coach their kids or go coach in a rec league or an AAU team or a high school team if that's what they want to do, or college, and at least maybe they'll learn something from what I've learned and what I've gained from other coaches.
Yeah.
It's hard to break bad habits. The older you get, I was watching the game last night, Carolina and Miami game, and Miami's big guy, he had the most horrific free throw, the most horrific, stroke of anybody. And I was just watching it. I was like, this guy, he was a good player, but he just had a horrible stroke. And I'm sitting there, he had a shoot, and one of the assistant coaches they had been working with him, but you develop bad habits, man, and it's hard to break them.
But nobody had a worse free throw procedure or shooting form than Bill Cartwright. Remember him?
Yeah, he looked like he was stiff.
Hey, Coach, the kids might not know, but what I'm talking about how weird that was.
Yeah, it's bad habits they're easy to create bad habits and they're hard to break. So you're doing it now. Noah, let's talk a little bit, man. I mean, you're pretty versatile. You said the thing that Coach talked to you about, and you've grown as scoring necessarily wasn't always you didn't always have to be the leading scorer every night, but you're leading the team statistically in several categories. Does that ever get heavy on you, man, or is that right where you want to be?
No, it's right where I want to be.
Is it?
Every night I go out, I expect to have 30, 10, and 10. Like,
gotta love it, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. And Grady, let me ask you this: how do you respond? I mean, and this the natural reaction. How do you respond when people want to judge the program strictly by the record and not necessarily because they're not into practices?
Yeah.
Strictly by the record and not I'm gonna say going on behind the scenes, man. Talk a little bit about that.
I feel like I just know what this team really has, like potential wise.
Yeah.
I know we got a great coach and a great coaching staff just overall. And I know all my players, we all got the same common goal. So I feel like, the record is what it is, but I know we can grow off of that. So
That's great. And if any of y'all, I mentioned the Under the Radar article. You wrote a great article I don't know when it was published, but you sent it. But I got it. Was it yesterday about,
the juniors? Yeah.
About the juniors. If you guys haven't had a chance to look at that, both of you guys are actually named named in that article, or was it under the radar? Anyway, they're named in one article.
I wrote a column yesterday, basically saying our best players are
best players in
juniors.
the county are juniors. Man, we got a lot to really be excited about in not only high school football, but high school basketball. I mean, between Zarian and Cannon and Matt Williams from Jacksonville and the Hooker kid from Richlands, and we got two guys right here. I mean, our junior class, man, is just loaded. So that's exciting.
Connor from Swansboro when he gets back.
Yeah, Connor May. Yeah, when he comes back. So that's just big things to come. Coach, leadership during a rebuild. Talk about that, man, because it's about culture. But talk a little about culture, leadership.
Yeah, leadership is lonely, especially from a head coach's standpoint. And I have a good assistant, Coach Bobby, and Coach DJ, and Coach Bates, and my dad. But we all talk about player-led leadership, and these two guys have really been trying to embrace that role from a leadership standpoint. But I think balancing confrontation with players, getting on them more so from a leadership culture, pushing them to be better than what they think they're capable of. That's really where I'm trying to work on and get to right now moving forward. And then also having players take accountability, take accountability for yourself and your teammate. If you don't think he's getting it done or he needs to help you defensively or offensively, speak up.
That's awesome.
So, no, what has surprised you the most about your game this year?
Probably my rebounding. Yeah, I didn't expect to average as much rebounds as I do, and also like working on my boxing out. I feel like there's some days where I just I mess up. We do war rebounding, and I won't box out, and then there's some days where I'm just being aggressive and boxing out, and I try to remember that in the game. So.
What is Coach doing in practice? Is he beating you guys up because Grady's playing some good defense this year, and you're rebounding the ball a lot better? So is Coach just kind of beating you guys up, and what's going on in practice?
Yeah, so we do a lot of rebounding drills because that's been a problem for us past years, and it's really just no fouls and people are diving on balls, and it just feels really good to have all that energy in that gym when that's going on.
That's awesome, man. So, Coach, it's got to be, and it's got to be a I don't want to say a burden. It's a blessing. You got famous cousins, man. Archie and Sean, and of course, your Uncle Joe. I mentioned that. You mentioned earlier you got notes, game plan or practice plans from Sean. So, how much man? And I met you. Just full disclosure, met you for the first time today. You seem to be a student of the game. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be a student of the game growing up because of your family. But how much of what you do in practice and in games do you attribute to your family, to your or other coaches that you work with, and how much is yours, man?
Yeah, I'd say a lot, 95 to 99% of it is them. I had the privilege to play for Coach Billy Harrion.
Yep.
He was just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He was at Drexel for a long time, went to the NCAA tournament, was at East Carolina for about 6 years, and then he coached me up at New Hampshire. And he got after.
Did he?
And I worked for him too. After I got done playing, I was stayed on staff with him, and then I went out with Sean out in Arizona. And I nothing's really I would say too authentic other than me being myself and trying to relate to these guys and being a younger type of person. But I learned a lot from Sean and my dad and Coach Harrion and other coaches. First and foremost is the skill part of it.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Slippery Rock, but my Uncle John coached high school basketball up in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
For a long time.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame up there.
Nice.
But they're really big on skill development, and that's one piece I'll never stop doing with really anyone.
And I think sometimes when you have good mentors and you work for good folks, sometimes there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah.
It's work for them, and the thing I would say is basketball is basketball, how it's been. The only big evolution of basketball is the athleticism that exists today that didn't exist, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, kids are bigger, faster, stronger, but the hoop is the same height.
Mm-hmm.
The ball's the same size. The court's the same length, the same width. And you put the same number of players out there. So all the foundations and all the basics are there.
Yep.
And if you've got a good background and good mentors, man, sometimes taking the KISS method is the best way to go about it.
Yeah,
right?
and I would say probably I water some of the drills down, like they were a little intricate at that level. So I water them down a little bit, but for the most part, pretty similar.
So I've got a great question here from Miss Wright. Does Coach Matt miss the college game when he has to deal with us crazy parents? So, Coach, do you want me to put you on the spot, or you want me to go to the next question, man?
I'll answer it. I think the parents at Dixon, our players and parents, have been awesome, especially this year.
Yeah.
I think they're seeing the trajectory of where we're going and what we have going on and what we're building, and the fact that we're in every game except for Havelock, who knocked us last night. That's okay. But they've left me alone and trying to let me teach and mentor their kids, and I really appreciate it. So
That's awesome because they get it, they see it.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I hope so.
Yeah, and you mentioned trajectory. That's a great lead into my next question, and I've mentioned this several times. 1 senior, 6 juniors, 4 sophomores, 1 freshman. That's what you got on your roster, man. And of course, Noah and Grady have 1 more year, along with several of the other players that you guys are developing. You talked about trajectory. What's the ceiling look like for you guys, man?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take winning the league or winning the state championship out of it and more focus on the process and build and just kind of building into next year and taking it 1 game at a time. I think we can really one area we've been focusing on this year is really earning respect. I don't think I think in previous years, and I don't really know exactly what all that looked like, but they just saw Dixon and were like, hey, we're going to win by 40.
Yep.
We're going to beat Dixon by 40. We're going to move on to the next game. That's what's going to happen. And I think, I like to hope so, and I think other teams are starting to realize, hey, we actually need a game plan here. We actually need to, watch film. They're running plays. They have things going on. So I think that's the dial that's turning where, we're not just a shoe-in win.
Yeah. And that and like you said, that really hasn't been around there since Bernie had that good team back when the Elmore kid, Matt Elmore, and the Marshburn kid were back, and so that was in the late what I guess 1920, 18, 19 sometime, 2018, 19 or something.
1920.
Yeah.
1920, I'm pretty sure.
18, 19, 20.
And I'm sure Tim Foster won't mind me saying this, but when y'all played that double overtime game, I was right outside the locker room, north side, after the game, and I could hear Tim giving his guys the business, saying, y'all overlooked Dixon. This is not a team that we need to overlook. Dixon doesn't stink, and he didn't say stink. He said the other thing. Dixon is not a pushover, and you guys, took it for granted and, almost bit you in the butt. So, Tim and other coaches are aware that, you guys are not a pushover, and that if teams overlook you, you guys can punch them in the mouth and shock some people. So,
well, and again, I'm just going to go back to the fact that you guys, without even really thinking, you guys rattled all 4 or 5 games that you were in. You were either winning or in it.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and if just half those games go your way, you're sitting at 500, and every one of those games was a conference game, I think. So that starts looking a little bit different, for you guys as well. So
Grady, I wanted to ask you. I mean, as you still have the rest of this season, but where do you want to see yourself elevated? What part of your game you want to take the next step from now until this point next year? And what part of your game do you want to take the biggest growth?
I definitely want to be a better teammate and a leader. But on the court, I know that's an aspect on the court, being a leader, but I feel like defensively, I know I've taken a step, but I feel like I could take a lot more steps and just take pride in that. And just being a better teammate, I feel like.
that's awesome. That's great.
He's been doing a great job at it too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Noah, let me ask you, when you leave the gym for the final time this year, what do you want people to say and remember about you this year? And then I'm going to ask you that. I want you to answer that one first. Then I'm going to ask you that question. What do you want them to remember about you next year? Because it's going to be your senior year, and and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys, it's fun this year, and you hate it when you lose, and you say, man, well, yeah, we're going to get them next year. Well, next year when you're playing, bud, there may be a next year in college level, but there ain't gonna be no next year at the high school level. So talk about, what do you want people to think about Noah Wright as a player, as a person, as a student at Dixon High School, man?
Just how I really got out my comfort zone this year.
Okay.
On the court and just around the school. I think on the court, I think scoring and just playmaking.
Yeah.
And then in the classroom, I think I've had the best grades this year.
Have you?
That I've had, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Talking to more people. We have a student section now, and that's great. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So you got your students getting into it, your peers getting into it, coming out and enjoying the game and pulling for you guys.
And
that's
they get
awesome.
after it.
Yeah,
And they
do.
get after it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
they do.
Man, there's so much pent up tension with kids, man. Croatan gets after it. Swansboro gets after it. White gets after it. I mean, they all get after it. I mean, that's great though, man. I love that.
They're taking all their school day
Yeah,
frustrations.
all their frustrations. Last question, and then if you've watched any of this stuff, we have rapid fire, right? Where questions I haven't shared with you guys, it's going to be off the cuff. But last question, Coach, you're building something, man. So when you talk to middle school parents, middle school kids about Dixon basketball, you told me you're in tech sales. What's the pitch, man? What's the sale for Dixon basketball?
I think the sell is, your son's going to grow as a basketball player. Obviously, I mentioned a ton about skill development.
Yeah.
I take pride in that part of it. So as far as, their son coming to Dixon, they're going to grow as a basketball player and get better. But also there's also a part of my past that I bring to the table as well, which is I know a ton of college basketball coaches. I've worked for D2, Division I, high Division I, low Division I. I played D2, I played D1. I've been around. I've shared offices with good friends of mine that are still in the college game, head coaches, some non-head coaches, assistants that I know. And I'm constantly texting and pinging a ton of different coaches about players, not only Dixon, but in the area.
Yeah. And that's so, and I don't mean to cut you off,
Yep.
but I want to ask you this. You've been there, man. Now that you got the portal, and I'll say the NIL, but to me it's the portal. The NIL is an offshoot of the portal, in my opinion, or whatever, or maybe it's vice versa. I don't know. But the way colleges are recruiting kids now out of high school has drastically changed, right? Talk
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, no. And I tell these guys, I actually told them the other day. So there was a stat that I read that there has been the least amount of minutes logged for a freshman ever in college basketball this year.
Wow.
It's under, I think it was under like 500 minutes.
And you wouldn't think that because you've got 5 or 6 freshmen playing ball
Yeah.
that are studs.
Yeah, like the
but
freshman Arkansas. Yeah.
yeah, but in general,
In general, it's the lowest.
Wow.
It's the lowest, and it's because of NIL. And I tell these guys all the time that means you have to work, twice as hard, extra hard. It's different from when we were coming out.
yeah,
I think they understand that. But NIL and the transfer portal and guys coming from the NBA into college, it's tough from the G League and the D League into it's like
that one gets me. I don't get,
Hey,
but
if we had a dud of the week for this show, he would be my dud of the week.
well, they ruled him ineligible. So now the kid from Alabama, so he's not going to be able to play. They did rule him ineligible. But the thing about it too, Coach, is, and you talk about it, and we've gotten down on a tangent. Sorry, I just got to ask this question, but with the kids have to understand it's a business in college, and if a coach is going to take a chance, he's probably going to take a chance on a kid that already has film at the collegiate level as a potentially someone who I don't want to say is unproven, but he's done it in high school. Is that a fair assessment?
Fair assessment, and they've done college work. They know that they can go to class and handle that part of it, and the whole college scene of partying versus balancing basketball.
There's partying in college.
6 a.m. and it's a whole. You're on your own.
Yeah.
So, and it's a business for them because they have a clock on.
Yeah. Well, who was the football player that said, "When's the last time you went to class?" He goes, "Oh, I graduated 2 years ago."
That was the guy from
Miami.
Yeah,
The quarterback.
yeah, Carson Beck that had 2 Lamborghinis stolen while he was down there, right? Yeah. So, I could have this, and we may have a conversation on later on that because I just think that the whole amateur college athletic thing is going crazy, man, and I appreciate your perspective on it, but there's probably about 5 people that want to hear that conversation, and you and I are 2 of them, and nobody else probably on here wants to hear it. So let's move to rapid fire. So this is going to be first thing that comes to your mind. You got to think. All these questions are for all of you guys. So the first thing comes to your mind, and we'll rotate. Grady, I'm going to start with you, man. Best trash talker on your team?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
All right. Coach, you agree?
I agree.
Grady? All right. Yeah. Noah? Who has the worst playlist of anybody on your team?
Honestly,
yeah.
It's probably Oscar.
Oscar? Coach?
Our senior.
You're senior? So you'll be rid of him next year, man.
Yeah.
He plays too much Drake.
Too much Drake. Okay.
Much.
Coach? Have you heard it?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, when I go in the locker room, those guys are
you'll hear it.
songs
Okay.
that I can't understand.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
with
okay.
you.
It's all right.
Grady?
I'd probably say JT.
JT?
Yeah.
Not a good playlist?
Yeah, nah.
All right. Who's got the quickest first step, Grady, on your team? Quickest first step.
This is it's kind of like a shocking response, but I feel like it's Xander.
Xander.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know why, but he just be moving off the first step.
And Xander's a sophomore. You says he's a sophomore. All right. Coach, quickest first step?
Probably JT.
JT. Noah?
I'd probably say Xander.
Xander. All right. Noah, best shooter, and you can't say yourself.
Grady.
Yeah. Coach? Come on, man.
No.
Noah.
I would say no, yeah.
Okay.
Now watch Grady's going to score 50 points next
Yeah, how about that? Okay.
Those two are pretty even though.
Are they? Okay. Okay. This one is a good one. Player on your team that people would think of as he's the team dad. Oscar.
He's
okay.
the only senior.
Okay. Oscar. Noah.
Oscar.
Okay. What's your go-to pregame meal, Noah?
Oh, probably Bojangles.
Bojangles.
Yeah.
Bojangles is Coach. What do you eat before game? Do you eat much? Do you eat anything? Or are you too nervous?
Italian sub.
Okay. Grady, what you go to, man?
couple hours before the game, probably like a couple Uncrustables.
Uncrustables. Nice, nice.
It's not too much in the stomach.
All right, Grady, college or NBA player you model your game after?
I feel like college. I like Malik Thomas.
Okay.
He goes to Arkansas.
Yep.
I like him a lot.
Okay. Noah?
I feel like NBA player that I watch the most is like Anthony Edwards.
All right.
I just watch every college team.
Do you watch every college? Are you just a college?
I like college more because it's more.
me too.
Oh,
it's more similar to.
If
what
you
we
didn't
do.
like college more, I'd be really concerned about you. But I know I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right, serious. I say serious. It's fun, and you may not pull for either one of them, but in this case, you got to answer it. Carolina or Duke? Who you got? Carolina. Coach, who you got? Carolina, Duke. I want to hear it. He's make a note. He's never invited back.
Yeah, we don't.
Grady, who you got, man?
I got Carolina. I asked him who he got on Saturday, and I told him UNC was going to win.
Yeah.
But he-
Duke was winning the entire game.
Yeah, but
Until the last
They
point
couldn't
forward,
finish
right? Yeah. I did first Carolina game. I've got season tickets. First game I didn't go to. I haven't been to in 30 some odd years.
I'm more an NC State guy though.
Are you? State's got a great. They got a good coach now. We'll see if he's there in
How
2
many points
years.
did they give up Monday night?
I don't know, but they got beat by 41. I don't know how many they gave up, but anyway,
it was 120 something.
yeah. All right, here we go. Biggest lesson learned this season, Grady. Biggest lesson learned this season. These are a little more serious.
That every loss is a lesson.
All right, Noah.
I would say probably just losing, like, it teaches you a lot.
Okay. Back at you. Toughest opponent you played this year and why? It could be a team. It could be an individual that you've gone against. But tell me potentially who has been the toughest player or team that you played against and why?
I feel like player this year,
Yeah.
I feel like Gavin from South Lenore because he's just so quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grady?
I hate to say it on the day that we play him.
It's all right, man.
It's probably Cannon.
Cannon.
Me and him are cool, but he's a really good shooter.
Yeah.
And then Cannon's probably listening, probably watching now.
Yeah, he is. He normally watches, so he may chime in here in a second. Grady, one skill you'd like to add overnight, one basketball skill you'd like to wake up tomorrow and, man, just be – that's you.
I wish I'd wake up and I've had like a 45-inch vert.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be
Just
nice.
be able to jump.
Noah?
Yeah. I probably wish I could dunk consistently.
Noah, what does this program need to take the next step?
I'd say just another summer of hard work and just being together, like being a together group.
All right. Coach, I want you to answer this one.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay.
Being more together in the spring and summer and tightening the screws on what we built last year into this year and going into the ECI.
All right.
Come prepared.
Grady, you agree?
I kind of agree on that, yeah.
All right. Grady and Noah as leaders next year. Message to incoming freshmen. What's your message as a leader, Dixon High School basketball, Grady, to an incoming freshman?
Got to be a dog.
Got to be a dog. All right.
Just want to win.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Noah,
I'd say just put in the work.
put in the work.
Put in the work early, yeah.
All right. Last rapid fire question. Finish this every week. Same question. Just change the high school name and sport. I'll start with Grady. Dixon basketball is. You fill in the blank. Dixon basketball is.
A family.
All right. Coach.
Dixon basketball is on the rise.
On the rise. Noah.
Dixon basketball is hardworking.
Hardworking. That's fine. That's all three great answers because hardworking and dogs, you're gonna be on the rise, right? So, guys, thank you so much. This has been awesome. And just know, everybody watching and listening, this wasn't a conversation about wins and losses. It was about choosing to build, and Coach did that, learning how to lead, and the boys are doing that, and competing before the results arrive, and they're doing it. They've shown it this year. The foundation is set, the culture is taking shape, and the story isn't finished yet. So we're going to watch what happens next with Dixon High School basketball. Guys, thank you for joining us, man.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
This section has been brought to you by Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars. It's about servicing the community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local high school charities and events while helping families find their perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. More Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit them today at their location on Highway 17 in Jacksonville or online at morebuickgmc.com. All right, couple things before we leave you guys. We got Scholar Athlete of the Week, and it is, look at that. We're not going to make you read all that. I can give you this. Brooklyn Brewster, senior at Living Water Christian School. She's got a 4.57 GPA. She plays basketball and volleyball. Didn't get any basketball stats. They didn't provide those, but she's a team leader in blocks, second in kills, and third in aces in volleyball. She's completed an associate's degree already at Coastal. I don't know how you could do that and still be in high school, but my wife could tell you probably. College transfer pathway to Coastal. Taking chemistry, psychology at Coastal, plus a lot of honors classes at Living Water, and so her story: she's basketball, volleyball. She's earned the Warrior Award that embodies the warrior spirit on and off the court. Her volleyball leadership includes leading the team in blocks while finishing second in kills and aces. Her most impressive achievement, though, is in the classroom. She's taken those honors classes. She's earned that degree. So when she gets out of high school, she'll graduate with a 2-year degree, which is pretty daggone cool. She's on course to be the valedictorian of Living Water, and so her goals, as far as moving forward, she wants to attend a 4-year university, and she'll enter with significant college credits. That will be much appreciated, Brooklyn, by your mom and dad. Trust me. If you can graduate in 2 years, then that would be awesome. If not, take 4 and have fun. My son could have done it, but he chose to have fun at Carolina and graduated in 4 years. I told him he had enough time to work when he grew up. So
he wasn't on the 9-year plan like
no, he wasn't on. I wasn't on the 9-year plan. I was on the 4-year and a summer school semester plan. But I told him he has plenty of time to grow up afterwards, and that life will be there when he got there. And now he's a productive citizen living in Raleigh, working for Cisco Systems as a financial analyst. So he's doing well. So this Scholar Athlete is brought to you by the law offices of John Drew Warlick in Jacksonville and Onslow County. When life changes fast, you need someone who can move just as fast for you. The law offices of John Drew Warlick, 3 generations of trusted local attorneys. They're fighting for folks injured in wrecks, workplace mishaps, or just handling cases of those seriously injured. They also stand beside families through life's most challenging moments with experienced family law representation. Call 455-7700 to schedule a complimentary consultation now. The law offices of John Drew Warlick, advocating for the injured, standing up for families, and results that matter. So that is going to do it for this week's prep report. Big thanks again, Coach Matt Miller, Noah, and Grady. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. Of course, Chris Miller, couldn't do it without you, bud. So appreciate your words of wisdom and working this in with your other full-time gig. And, of course, our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member. You're part of the community. Visit them at marinefederal.org. So some quick programming notes, and I'm going to adjust this here in a minute. Tomorrow, February 12th, the 6th episode of Man Cave Media Network's series Homegrown, Real Athletes, Real Stories, Big Dreams. And here's a sneak preview of just a little snippet of, we're talking to Peyton Eckhart, Swansboro High School pitcher, now pitching for UNCW. So quick snippet. Or not a quick snippet. Let's see. Maybe I can give you a quick snippet. Let's see.
What did it mean to represent that program and the town when you stepped inside the circle?
I don't think that I actually realized that until I was for regionals my freshman year, and my friend Pina actually was filming me on TV, and we were playing Georgia, and I got the opportunity to pitch, and I went in, and I think I did okay for a freshman. And later on after that, I was home for the summer, and my senior year head softball coach, Coach Townsend, he had said, I thought it was really cool that, I was watching you on TV, and, when they brought up, your little profile, it said Peyton Eckert from Swansboro.
Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it?
And I had never thought about it until that point, but I was like, that is really cool, seeing Swansboro out there, because most people don't know where Swansboro is.
So that's, again, Peyton Eckert. That will appear tomorrow. You can watch all of the shows on the YouTube channel, Man Cave Media NC. Just go to YouTube, type in Man Cave Media NC, and you can find it. They're on Facebook for 30 days, and then they go away because Facebook doesn't want them after 30 days, I guess. So anyway, so check that out. Sunday, February 15th, the 2 minute six pack. We'll be back after taking Super Bowl off, 6 p.m., and the boys will be around, talk a little wrap up football, dive into the heart of college basketball coming up now. And we will talk a little bit about the Winter Olympics, because I love the Winter Olympics. My favorite, just off the cuff, favorite Winter Olympics sport, Noah.
Hockey.
Hockey?
Yeah.
Coach? Hockey.
Hockey, yeah.
Hockey. What's your favorite Winter Olympic sport?
I think yours would be curling, right?
I love curling. I watched it. The mixed doubles, we finished in second. Sweden beat us. So what's yours? I'll tell you what mine is.
I think it would be the ski jumping.
Ski jumping.
Yeah, that's kind of fun to watch.
So my favorite is the, and I can't even remember the name of it. Is it the biathlon? The guys, they ski cross country. And they ski and they ski and they ski, and their heart rate gets up to be whatever. And then a matter of moments, they have to lay on the ground and fire a rifle and shoot something. And that shows as much bodily self-control and being in tune with your body to get your heart rate from what it is pumping like that to getting it down to fire that rifle and hitting that ball. I think those dudes are bad, man. I just think they're bad men and bad women.
I think we have a lot of folks here in Jackson-Walensville County that
probably could do that,
probably
right?
could do that.
Yeah, we have a lot of either one of your parents military at any point. Okay. We probably got a lot at MARSOC that probably could do that stuff. Anyway, love Winter Olympics, man. I do like right now the Nordic Combine, which you talked about ski jumping. Kind of sort of the same thing. They jump, and then this afternoon they're going out skiing cross country. So I'm probably a bigger Winter Olympics guy than I am summer, because growing up here in the summer, we see all the summer stuff. But anyway, so 2 minute six pack Sunday, February 15th. That's one of the Valentine's Day presents I'm giving my wife, is having a podcast on the day after. Then next week, we mentioned it earlier, Down East Prep Report, Jacksonville High School girls basketball coach Nia Burney, and she's bringing Destiny Holmes and Bella Hernandez with her.
Destiny Benton.
She's got she said Holmes. She's got Holmes, but
And
it's
then,
Destiny Benton.
Yeah, and then and then Isabella Hernandez.
Bella Hernandez. Okay, so they'll be here. Hopefully, they'll be coming into next week with 2 more wins and be going into next Friday night playing South Central for a potential share of first place. So, with that said, for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, those folks, for watching and tuning in, and we'll see you next week.